It is said that whatever happens in life happens for a good reason. But do we always believe it? Let me share a story that might help you understand this truth. In a dense green forest, where the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets, a young man came running to a sage, tears streaming down his face. He fell at the sage's feet, his body trembling with sorrow. The sage, calm as the morning sun, gently patted the young man's shoulder and asked, "What troubles you, my child?" The young man, choking on his sobs, cried, "I have lost everything. Thieves attacked me in the forest. They stole all my belongings, everything I had. Now I have nothing left, not even a way to go back home. How can this be fair? My life is ruined." The sage listened carefully and then said with a smile, "Do not worry, my son. Whatever has happened, happened for a good reason." The young man's sorrow turned to anger. "How can you say that? This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. How can losing everything be good for me?" The sage remained unshaken. "Let me share a story with you," he said. "A long time ago, in a small village surrounded by rivers, there was a poor farmer. He lived with his wife and young son. They didn't have much, just a tiny house and some grain stored for the season. One year, a terrible flood hit the village. The raging waters swept away homes, animals, and crops. The farmer lost everything, including the little food they had. He sat on the ground, holding his head in his hands, and cried, 'How will we survive now? This is the end for us.' But his young son, full of hope, said, 'Father, don't worry. Whatever happens, happens for a good reason.' The farmer's grief turned into fury. 'How dare you say that? Everything we owned is gone. There is nothing good about this.' In his anger, the farmer pushed his son out of the house and shouted, 'Leave! You are no longer my son.' The boy, heartbroken and crying, left the house. As the day passed and evening came, the farmer began to regret his harsh words. 'What have I done?' he thought. But it was too late. Suddenly, a rescue boat arrived in the village to save people from the flood. The farmer's wife smiled and said, 'See, our son was right. Help has come.' But the farmer wasn't convinced. 'How can you say that? We have lost everything. Our home, our food, even a precious bundle of memories. What good can come from this?' The days turned into weeks, and the farmer and his wife struggled to survive. One day, his wife suggested, 'Why don't you go to the city and find work? Maybe we can start over.' The farmer agreed. He walked for days, searching for work. Many doors closed on him, and he began to lose hope. But just when he was about to give up, he met a kind merchant who offered him a job and even a place to stay. Years passed, and the farmer worked hard. One evening, there was a knock at his door. When he opened it, he froze in shock. Standing before him was his son, now a grown man, holding a bag and a smile on his face. "Father," the son said, "it's me. After you sent me away, I went to the city. I struggled at first, but then I found work, learned business, and eventually built my own company. I've come to take you and Mother to live with me. Look, I even bought a new house." The farmer couldn't believe his ears. He hugged his son and cried tears of joy. His son smiled and said, "If the flood hadn't come, if you hadn't sent me away, none of this would have happened. Now we have a better life." The farmer laughed through his tears. "You were right, my son. Everything does happen for a reason." The sage finished his story and looked at the young man. "Do you see, my child? Sometimes life takes away what we think we need, only to give us something even better." The young man listened quietly, still unsure. "But I've lost everything. How is this good for me?" The sage smiled and handed him a small, shiny stone. "Take this. It's something I found in the forest. It might help you." The young man looked at the stone closely and realized it was no ordinary stone. It was a philosopher's stone, known for its incredible value. "Had you not lost your belongings," the sage said, "you wouldn't have met me, and I wouldn't have given you this. You can sell it in the city to regain what you lost." The young man left the forest, no longer sad but filled with hope and understanding, carrying the shiny stone that could change his fate. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and at times it may feel like everything is falling apart. But remember, every event, good or bad, is part of a larger plan that we may not immediately understand. Difficult moments often pave the way for greater opportunities and hidden blessings. Just like the farmer and his son, who found prosperity after enduring loss, and the son, who discovered hope in his despair, we must trust the journey. Patience, faith, and resilience are key to navigating life's hardships. Even when things seem impossible, hold on, because what feels like a setback today might be the foundation for a brighter tomorrow. Everything truly happens for a reason, even if we can't see it right away.